Taiwan Semi is unique because they give you monthly numbers. So all of our companies report on a quarterly basis. And when I look at Taiwan Semi's quarterly results, they had over 30% growth, gave a guide where AI would be growing, almost 50% plus over the next 5 years. And so if, this deceleration is happening for a reason, I would attribute it to their diversification of their business, because you have to remember Apple is more than 20% of their revenue. Nvidia is close to 20% now. And then they also have some autos revenue, some analog business. So what is happening right now is everyone is putting their dollars in AI CapEx, but then they have to take away spending from elsewhere. And so the non-AI piece of the hardware spend, that seems to be slowing down, although we haven't really seen that even with PC sales. Things seem to be steady, but that could be one reason I can think of in terms of why that monthly number was a slightly weak. And there could be seasonality as well. I mean, this is a monthly number. Could happen that the next 2 months actually are above 30%, and then the overall quarter may still look solid.
Very good point. And just to recap the numbers, a 16.9% increase in October sales, which was on track with analyst estimates, but that is the slowest pace in about 18 months. I keep reading how TSMC is constrained by limited capacity. Yeah. So if it wanted to, it would want to actually have higher sales. It's just physically limited.
Well, limited capacity again on the AI side.
Okay.
So, TSMC does $120 billion run rate business in a year. So out of that, AI is still 15%, And so from that perspective, not everything that TSMC manufactures is at the cutting edge. And then you can slice it by leading versus, some of the trailing nodes. So from that perspective, the utilization is far higher in terms of the leading nodes versus some of the other nodes that they manufacture on. And it could happen that, because of the lower utilization, they're not seeing as much customer orders flow in. And look, I mean, it's hard to say for sure, given, the book of their business and how many customers they have. And for some customers, they're still the only game in town,
So TSMC makes custom chips for companies that order it from TSMC. It's a manufacturer overall. We know that all these big tech companies in the US are starting to turn on their own capabilities of making their own chips.
Yeah.
Is that competition or is that out of necessity? I mean, does that take away market share from TSMC down the road?
I mean, look, if Intel is successful in terms of reviving itself on the manufacturing side, and that's what everyone is hoping, with the initiative, with the government taking a 10% stake in Intel, that the fab side really gets a lift in terms of other companies using Intel fabs to manufacture chips. That's when you got to be worried about TSMC. But for now, there is nothing on the horizon where you think an OpenAI or any of these chip companies is going to go to Intel for manufacturing their chips.
And TSMC, market cap 1.5 trillion, stock up 50% this year. Maybe I should pay a little more attention to this one. What do you think? In a related story, Nvidia, again, more Bloomberg news reporting. These people are everywhere. Nvidia Chief Executive Officer Jensen Huang said he had asked Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing for more chip supplies as artificial intelligence demand remains strong.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, that's. Hey, is this thing slowing down? Well, not to Jensen Huang.
The
right?
Blackwell ramp up is actually accelerating. And if all the hyperscalers are telling you they're raising their CapEx for 2026, and it's going to be another 50% plus year, they need more TSMC capacity. And NVIDIA needs more TSMC allocation because TSMC can allocate to anyone outside of NVIDIA as well. So from that perspective, you can see how much NVIDIA cares about TSMC capacity.
Wow.